Today guys, we have the 2019 Toyota 4Runner and we are now going to be installing the ARB bumper on this thing. And ARB did not mess around when they packaged this thing. So we've unpacked all the hardware for the bumper right here, and luckily they did send us some installation instructions. Looks like we got quite a bit of cutting to do. Alright, so I have the bumper unpacked and it is sitting on a lift table. That way I can lift this guy up. I'll tell you one thing. That bumper definitely had some weight to it. That sucker is pretty heavy, but with this guy, all I gotta do is jack this up and I can roll it right up to the truck. That way, I don't have to break my back getting it up there. Check it out, Harbor Freight lift table, 1,000 pounds. Sorry guys, I didn't get a video of me taking the actual front bumper fascia off, but I'm sure you can find another video out there on how to do that. It's not too bad. There's some screws on the sides and some clips and just pull it off basically, but follow along here and I'm going to show you guys how to take the front crash bar off. Jeez. Alright, in case you guys didn't know, most Toyotas, everything is a 12 or a 14, so having a 3/8 electric ratchet here with a 14 swivel is going to make it a little bit easier. They are kind of stiff, but it's going to make the job a lot faster as well. So. As you guys saw in the clip before, there's a couple bolts underneath on the crash bar that go to, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's the lower skid plate, so you have to take those out, and there's also a couple plastic clips. You'll have to go ahead and pop those loose as well. So now we're going to be starting with all of the trimming. So first we got to get the grill out of the bumper, and then we're going to start doing all the cutting and trimming to all the plastic pieces. Alright guys, pause the video here if you need to get a picture or check the instructions out there, get your measurements. So go ahead and right where the pen is at, basically those notches in the grill is where you're going to be cutting the grill. And if you want to make your cuts a little smoother, you can put a little bit of tape on there. That'll help with that. But Anyway, so follow along and just cut along that dotted line that's in the diagram. All right, so basically you have to cut up all the plastic on the front of the 4Runner in order for it to fit. So I have taken the front, these are like your, helps direct the airflow around the radiator. Already trimmed those up to the way they told us to. And now I got to trim up the front grill. Sorry about the weird audio there. YouTube really doesn't like when you have music playing in the background, so you're going to hear some weird audios. Basically, I have to use an AI tool in order to fade the music out of the back. So, stick with me. If you want to make this look a little better, it's got a little burring tool here. You can use it and scrape the sides up. Now guys, we're going to have to remove the fog lights to get the front bumper fascia ready to put the templates on there and cut and trim up the front bumper fascia. That way the ARB bumper will fit on the truck correctly. If you guys take a pocket screwdriver, you can push in on these clips and that will help release the plastic tabs there. So now the fog light bezels have to be trimmed. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you guys a little trick here. So if you take a little butane torch, if you have any like rash or little marks from maybe when you were cutting, if you just lightly heat it up with a little butane torch, it's going to help those little lines or little scuff marks kind of go away. Also, quick tip, if you have fender flares that are faded out, this is a way you can actually take the fade out of the plastic. So I also found out after doing this that those pieces that you see right there, the circles, you don't keep those at all. So this was completely a wasted task that I did. But anyway, at least you guys see how cool it is. You can use the little butane torch there to help get all those little scuff marks off. Next step is we are going to trim the bumper fascia clips. So this retainer clip is what is below the blue tape there. So you can see here on the repair instructions where you'll have to trim it there on that line. Next we'll be trimming the bumper fascia retainer clip. So follow along the white dotted line there, and also in the previous clip before you can actually see what the instructions tell you to do. And basically what I'm starting to gather from the instructions is that everything from basically that white dotted line up is what is getting trimmed. The bumper, the grill, the fog light housings, and all of the plastic basically from this point upward. All right, a lot of times you can use these, and there's a tab right there. Go on the back side of that with a pair of hose clamp pliers. There we go, like that. And there's another one in the back, right there. You're gonna take these paper templates that they have, and you're gonna trace a line all the way across. I gotta take it off yet. All right, now that the templates are off, they want you to extend the lines all the way over. Added another piece of tape in there, and then start cutting. Then reverse and do it on the opposite side. All right, front bumper is all trimmed up. Not bad. Now we're going to be installing the wind deflectors back into the car. After they've already been trimmed, go ahead and reinstall those on both sides. All right, welcome to ARB, where we've got Build-A-Bumper. So not only do they charge you an arm and a leg for the bumper, you have to charge an arm and a leg to get it installed because, well, they don't even build the bumper. You got to build it yourself. Good job, ARB. Nice bumper. But y'all should do your customers a solid and like install, 90% of this stuff on the bumper, since you're already putting it in a box half the size of a Toyota Tacoma. You could probably just, take care of that for them. That'd be real nice. All right, so gotta get these nuts in these little brackets here so we can stick them in the bumper. And I'm trying to find an easier way to insert them, and I don't know if this is going to be the ticket or not. There it is, like that. All right, so now we've got to remove these power steering line. All right. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing in the air since I have a lift and there's no point in working on the ground. Alright guys, so gotta get these power steering lines out of the way so we can get the frame brackets in here. Let's get to it. Alright, now that we got the power steering lines loose, turn those brackets up, and we have to drill these holes out, and they said 13 millimeters, that's a ½ inch. We're gonna do that. Now with that drilled out, you can kind of start to see where this has to go. I believe that's the way. Ah, that's the other side. There we go. Alright, so obviously these things here keep getting in the way. So, gotta take those off. This will leave the rubber off too for now, but they do not fit at all. I think I could have, I think I need to get into making aftermarket parts. I know I could do better than some of this junk. So, maybe that'll allow us to do some work now. There we go, look at that. So I guess, all right, so go ahead, make sure you get that back hole drilled out there to 3/4 of an inch. Take this little plastic plug off, that's gonna give you access to that captured nut that's inside of there. Get your bracket up off the power steering line. And then that'll go in there like that. All right. Now, while we're in here, let's go ahead, WD-40, everything. Be nice if we had some cavity wax. So anyway, over here, I don't have a 3/4 inch drill bit, but I do have a 3/4 inch reamer. So I'm going to put some good old cutting grit on here and go to town. There we go. All right. All right, so anyway, take one of these on your extension cage nut, and you're gonna get a 12 coarse thread bolt, stick it through, get it started like that. All right, so after you get those in, I'm about done with these directions. They suck. So there we go, fine thread bolt. Believe that's the fine thread bolt. Yes, so the 2 fine thread bolts that come in the pack go in here. Make sure you clean those threads up good and run them in with your fingers to get them started. Make sure that they don't cross thread on you. All right. There we go. Went in. All right, started. Now you gotta bend these guys up. All right, so to make this easier, I'm gonna cut these off because, yeah, they're just kind of in the way. I don't know why they sent a 3-foot nut capture, but anyway. Alright, so another thing they'll tell you is which, these impact absorbers, they'll tell you which one goes where, so probably gonna have to do a lot of guessing. Well, I guess it's got to go up high, so goes over there. That would make sense. So all your bolt holes, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna leave everything loose until I get it started. All right, there's one. They're giving us new hardware, so I suspect they want us to use it. Got a good feeling that half this stuff is going to be left over when we're done. Yeah, look at that. Those measurements work really well, don't they? All right, so it looks like we're going to have to trim the plastic a little bit more. Now, guys, I am very hard to please when it comes to aftermarket stuff, especially when we have to chop half the front of the car up just to make a bumper work. I believe things could have been done much better, or for as much as you're charging for this bumper, I would believe you guys would have done a lot more. I'm not seeing the value in the $2,000 bumper. Let's see. Okay, Japanese to the 14. Yeah, it is. Look at that. So they want you to take these, and it says you can relocate them. So I would like to see how this is going to work. Since it's going to literally just lay right there. So that right there, there's nothing. They should have had another bracket made for these. So eventually that'll wear a hole in the power steering line. Alright guys, the video didn't capture, but anyway, take your old power steering line brackets here, cut them off, drill that out to 8mm, and then that way you can get this as your final product here. So you can keep your factory mounting location for your power steering lines. Alright, so I took those old power steering line brackets right there and basically cut them and made them fit to where they would bolt up right there. Recommend that, guys, because that line wears on these extension brackets. It's eventually going to rub a hole in it, and then you're going to have a bad power steering lead. So that worked out pretty well, though. Alright guys, work on these fog lamp housings. So these are a left and a right. Alright, this is the left. This has an L on it. These are 1/4 inch. Now, is that going to affect it? Yes, so do not put these on before you put them in the bumper. Unless we can put the top one on, because here it's saying we can put the top one on. Alright, then so leave them a little loose. There we go. Now these don't fit well at all, so I don't think you're doing anything wrong if you have trouble with this. Alright, so now we're going to fit these clear lights here. And what ARB didn't do is, instead of giving you a pigtail harness that you could have plugged into the truck and then just plug these straight in, we're going to have to cut the harness up on the truck side and solder these in. So I guess first here we need to get these put in. And then we got little Phillips screws here. Hold those to the bumper. And you can see how it's already sprung here, so that's not very good. Okay, so straight out of the box, brand new grill that ARB gives you to go in the bumper. Apparently it's not made to go in the bumper because you have to cut it. So, we're gonna have to cut this brand new piece of plastic because why is this even a thing? It doesn't fit. Look at this. Look, that's how much longer it is. So, what are we doing here, guys? This is retarded. Alright, so since the instructions on this are terrible, this back bolt back there, so they don't give you 2 bolts, they only give you 1, at least in this kit they did, and you don't need to drill that hole out. So you can actually stick the bolt through. It goes through the back side, put a nut on it. Luckily I had a bolt laying around. Apparently there's a difference if it has KD, SS, or whatever. So anyway, make sure you guys get that extra bolt in there in the back. But again, disappointed in ARB. Alright guys, so I got that grill mounted in there. If I was you all, I would not pay attention to the measuring instructions. Measure the opening in the front here and cut it yourself. Also, this looks really bad. So this is what they want you to do in the instructions. They got these little metal brackets there. You would have thought they could have painted those black. But anyway, there we go. Alright guys, so mounting these plastic end caps here that ended up covering up the little brackets I was talking about, if they don't come with the plastic clips, you can reuse the ones out of the original bumper fascia. These are the little clips that help hold in some covers. And then also I actually go back later and replace these screws. I did end up finding there's little plastic like washers that go in here and help hold that on. But those little plastic clips, as you can see, are found in the lower piece of the bumper that you cut off. So if you don't have any of those or you break one or whatever, you can salvage them out of the original piece of the bumper. Alright, here's something I want to talk to you guys about. It says using supplied Scotch locks. So this right here really indicates the quality of this bumper. So you should never use a Scotch lock in any type of automotive application unless you're just trying to make something work for a little bit. But other than that, it's not going to last, it's going to corrode, and you're going to have issues on down the road. So never use those. Either solder or use heat shrink butt connectors. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you what I meant. Those plastic washers that go with the screws, and mine did end up coming with those clips, so I replaced those with the white nylon looking ones. And those are the little plastic washers I was talking about, so those do work better, and I ended up finding them in my kit. So go ahead guys and use the Alright, you can see now I've fitted the trimmed piece for the bumper. Go ahead and let it sit up there. Alright guys, so I'm using the Harbor Freight engine or whatever lift table, and at this point I got very frustrated and couldn't get this thing lined up by myself. The lift table does help, but it kept hitting the front of the car. So honestly, the best way to do this is get someone to help you and just go ahead and have them help you line this thing up. That's going to be the easiest way. And also when it comes to getting this thing lined up side to side, you could use a jack or something, of course, but if you don't want to scratch anything and you want to make this a lot easier to install, just go ahead and call a friend up and maybe give them a couple beers and get them to come over there and help you and get this thing installed. Hey guys, this is Andrew with Wagonworks. Wanted to thank you guys for tuning in, and we got the ARB bumper all wrapped up, and this thing was a complete nightmare. So guys, if you're planning on getting one of these ARB bumpers, I would say set aside at least a day or two. This is not a quick project, and I am a mechanic, and I
do this for a living. So this thing was a real pain in the butt. I haven't done one on the 5th gen 4Runner yet, so of course it was a learning challenge, but needless to say, either way, it was difficult, but it turned out really good. I was actually happy with how the whole thing turned out, and there'll be more stuff like this in the future, hopefully more stuff with some German cars, but I do like my Toyotas. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Like and subscribe, and also if you guys have any tips or tricks for other people in the future, drop that down in the comments section so other people won't have as much trouble with this as I did.